Welcome to the Money Mentors Podcast.
This Money Mentors podcast is about helping you with your retirement questions. So if you have a question for us, reach out online anytime at matsonfinancial.com. How much do I need to retire? Something we all ask, but since you deal with people on the verge of retirement all the time, what do most people tell you? Do they spit out a number when they first come in?
They don't commonly have a number. Some do, especially the engineers.
Okay.
I love the engineers that come in. They've got spreadsheets and withdrawal rates, and God bless the engineers for bringing in all that information to the meetings. I love it. But, you know, a lot of the times it's when I'm talking to new clients is, what do you want to do in retirement? What does that lifestyle look like? The next question, or the follow-up question, is, are you living that lifestyle now?
Right.
9 out of 10 times, the client says, yep, we're doing what we want right now. We're going to continue to vacation, maybe one big trip a year when we retire. Then I ask them, I'm like, okay, if you're doing everything you want to do right now, then why would you want to take a pay cut in retirement? Because most people think, well, we're going to have less income when we retire. Mm-hmm. Well, why? Are you getting rid of some bills? Well, I'm not driving to work. No, you're driving somewhere. Right. Or maybe more Amazon boxes show up because you're shopping more. That would just pull it away from Laurel's house, though. So.
Diapers, man. We're almost out of them.
Right?
One day.
But, you know, it's got to relate to that lifestyle. And that's what I love digging into when I'm working up a plan and figuring out how best to put this client in retirement. It comes back to what they want to do. Now, if their lifestyle is they're going to buy a 50-foot yacht and they're going to island hop the Bahamas through all of their retirement, well, that's going to cost more than, no, we're doing what we're doing right now, maybe spending time with the grandkids, one trip a year, not doing anything really different. Well, that gives me that number that I have to solve for. Okay, if your income, if your net spendable income right now is $100,000 a year, do you have enough saved that you can, through different sources, whether there's pensions or Social Securities or what you have in your 401k, does that supply that type of income till you're 90, 95 years old? You know, I want to look past life expectancy. I'm going to plan that you live longer because I'd like you to stay here a while.
Yes, hang out for a while.
Right? But we have to look at everything, and we have to tailor it to what that specific client's dreams, goals, and desires are.
Well, it's interesting you bring this up, though, because you kind of reverse engineer things. However, Charles Schwab went out and did a survey on this recently. You know, what number do you think that you need to retire? And actually, a majority of Americans say they think they'll need $1.8 million in order to have that comfortable retirement. But what do you think when you hear a big number like that, and especially general numbers that come out of a lot of these large surveys?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the generation too. When we talk with a lot of baby boomers right now, they're like, well, if I have $1 million, you know, that's great. Well, you talk to a Gen Xer, again, that age gap, we're like, well, $1 million 30 years ago is not $1 million now. So, you know, finding that number somewhere in the middle, and at the same time, if their goal is to pass on money, I mean, that's a different plan. So that number in perspective would be a great lifestyle in retirement, but we don't know what healthcare is going to be. We don't know what taxes are going to be. We don't know what your health needs are going to be. Is there long-term care involved in there? Is there a propensity for that within your family line? We have to look at everything knowing that, okay, if we can plan for it and plan the income for it, and it doesn't happen, everything's great. But if it does happen, we're still on track with your plan.
But I think this is still the thing that most people wrestle with. In fact, Gerald, you and I had a conversation with a client there at Matson Financial Services, one of your last First Friday events. And he was telling us, you know, as a business owner, he was still struggling kind of with this question of, did I do enough yet? Because he was trying to figure it out. One of the things he said, since we had a little space reference earlier, is he didn't want to overshoot the moon. At the same time, he wanted to come in for a smooth landing, but it was almost like trying to land on a postage stamp when figuring out how much you need to retire. But that is actually what you help these people with. You help them kind of reverse engineer those plans so they know where they're coming in for that landing.
I mean, we've seen different clients come into our door from other institutions, and they say they have an income plan, and we start to look at it, and I'm like, man, it's just an Excel spreadsheet that somebody, said, hey, you're getting $1,800 a month from Social Security from age 65 till death, and you just see it as $1,800 in every single one. And then there's nothing in there about what happens with insurance, come Medicare, all of that. What about their required minimum distributions? How does that play into this? I can see an account balance and what their distributions look like from that, but it just doesn't have an entire picture. And so you as the client, you don't know if that's right or wrong either, because that's not your expertise. That's not your specialty. So we really look at that to say it should have Social Security information in there. And also there should be some type of increase kind of built in to the software solution that's there, because it doesn't say 1,800. For the longevity, that's not accurate. Mm-hmm. But also what happens if you are married, or there might be reasons to look at if you're coming to us and you're a widow or widower. We know some different things to look at when it comes to Social Security. But the layers that our advisors put into these reports, it's so robust and it's so amazing. So when the client sees this, we're going through this line item by line item, they're like, wow, okay. I can see how it all works together now. And here's version A, which Social Security at full retirement age, versus here's Social Security if I were to take it when I retire at the first part of the year. And you can see that impact right now. But also, what does the impact look like when I'm no longer here, or my spouse and I are no longer here? What's left in this bucket at the end? And I've joked about it on the show a few times, but I remember meeting with Joe and Pam, and he looked at his ending number there, and he's like, wow, we love our kids, but I think we can increase our expenditures a bit then. Like, wow, that's really great to see. So it just really melts away the stress and gives them the confidence to know either this is how much more we have to save to get where we want to go, or we've done the work now, and now we get to be on the distribution phase, not the accumulation side of it anymore.
Real life lessons about your retirement. You're listening to the Money Mentors Podcast.
Well, the world's most well-known investor just turned 94 years old. Warren Buffett, of course, has given us plenty of advice gems over the years.
You don't find out who's been swimming naked until the tide goes out, and
he is a wise man, always cautions against taking too much risk as individual investors. And I know a lot of market watchers who follow his every move, looking for signs about what might be next. A lot of that's been happening in the headlines lately. Is there something he knows that we do not?
I don't know. I love the Oracle of Omaha, just how everything he touches turns to gold.
Right.
And, I've had conversations with other people about this, and I don't think he has some magic 8-ball on his desk that he shakes and should I buy Ford or sell Ford or buy more Mike? I think when he looks at it, one, the biggest thing is he takes emotion out of it. He doesn't look and make these investment decisions based off emotion, right? Saying, oh, I don't know, the market's too expensive, or no, it's dropped so much, it's going to keep dropping. You look at the fundamentals. You look at, okay, what is your goal with the money that you have investing, and what do you want it to do? And really focus in on where is your money invested. Is it all in Bitcoin? Or did you just buy Enron stock? You have to take diversification, and you have to look at the fundamentals of what you're investing in. And ideally, when you invest in companies, you expect that stock price is going to go up based off them or their ability to make money. Well, when you dig into that and you really look at some of the fundamentals and the technical analysis, are you really putting your money into companies that are making money, or are you out there buying Kmart, for instance?
Right.
To throw an oldie in there, right? You got to look at long-term and understand the economy and take all of these factors into consideration when you're investing. And also, don't be afraid to call an audible. Markets are going to move. We're on a 24-hour news cycle, right? There's going to be times where you made a decision to invest in this. It's okay to take money off the top because you've made money. Take that growth out. Or, nope, that was a bad investment, because I will say this, 100% of Warren's investments have not always turned out.
True.
We just don't hear about as many of the bad ones, but you move on. You're like, okay, enough's enough. I got to get out, and we'll try something else.
Want weekly lessons from your money mentors? Yes. Hit the subscribe button now and listen every weekend on Wood Radio.
The opinions expressed in this program are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult your financial advisor prior to investing. Any past performance discussed during this program is no guarantee of future results. Fee-based financial planning and investment services are offered by Matson Financial Services, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Insurance products and services offered through Lakeview Financial Group, LLC, Matson Financial Services, LLC, and Lakeview Financial Group are affiliated. To find out if Matson Financial Services is licensed in your state, please call 800-536-8907.